Buck Rogers. It's got everything in it, every ingredient. George made a movie that he wanted to see, not a movie that he thought the public would want to see, because if he thought that if he'd made a movie like that, we would be seeing a disaster film again or something like that, probably.
A touch of the Flash Gordons as well in this.
It's got whatever you want it to be. It's a pure entertainment. It's like a roller coaster ride, and it can be interpreted as long as you enjoy it, which is the intention of it.
Luke would never say that. I'm sorry. Well, in this version, see, I'm talking about the George Lucas Star Wars. This is the next generation of Star Wars. So I almost had to think of Luke as another character. Maybe he's Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker.
Something that George initially set out to do was a kind of 3-act saga with these 3 trilogies. And I think we felt that we should honor and respect that.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
He's not my Luke Skywalker. I said to Ryan, I said, Jedis don't give up. I mean, even if he had a problem, he would maybe take a year to try and regroup. But if he made a mistake, he would try and right that wrong. So right there, we had a fundamental difference.
I think that the thing that George never did was maintain the status quo. And I think that that's really important because...
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you!
Who is this guy? How did the most optimistic, hopeful character in the galaxy turn into this hermit who says it's time for the Jedi to end? I read that and I said, what? I mean, that's not what a Jedi does. I mean, a Jedi is optimistic. A Jedi has tenacity. He never gives up. He doesn't secrete himself on an island. But you'll... it certainly surprised me to hear Luke say it's time for the Jedi to end. I said, what?
Yeah.
Luke was the most optimistic, hopeful character. And
yes.
I had a real, sort of a back and forth with Ryan. I said, Ryan, a Jedi doesn't give up.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
A Jedi, if he does something wrong, he makes it right. Even if he's traumatized and goes away, he regroup within, 6 months, but 20, 30 years? Come on, that's a little bit overindulgent in my... Well, you're assuming that I train Ray.
Exactly.
Sneaky.
Do I?
Sneaky.
I know, I have to be really careful. People say, was it difficult to pick up and wield a lightsaber again? And I go... Do I pick up?
Is it difficult acting in this movie? Am
Well,
I in this movie?
I can promise you my part is twice as big as it was in Force Awakens.
Are you bummed that Luke didn't get sort of a reunion with Han Solo?
Absolutely. In fact, when I was reading it, I thought, if Leia's trying to mentally contact me and she's not successful, she'll rush to his aid. She'll get close to him and then get into some dire situation, and that's when I show up for a big yay! Save her life. Then we rush to Han and are in the same position that Rey and Finn and Chewie are. Too late to save him, but witnesses. And I say, because it would carry so much emotional resonance into the next film. For us, his wife, his best friend to witness, instead of 2 characters that have known him, 20 minutes?
Fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Have you been keeping Ray's secret from the beginning? Did you know about the parentage? Tell me about that journey of when you found out.
No. At the beginning, there was toying with an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went, there were different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. And then it came to episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing. So then even I was filming, and I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be.
But this was incredible.
Fuck you!
up, all my Ewok Tribbles droids? And Wookiees, it's Anna, also that Star Wars girl, and I am exhausted. I streamed for over 10 hours yesterday. I'm so sleepy. Jeremy Sears, thank you for the super chat. It says fade in. So, thank you. Yeah, here, I'll play it for you. Here you go.
Fade in.
There you go. So, before I get into it, I did part 1. I see some people in the chat are saying that they missed part 1. I did the first part of the stream yesterday. I did, however, have to do a cutoff because I had the Jack show last night. So it was almost, let me see. That stream was 3 hours and 50 minutes, and the Jack show was 7 hours and 18 minutes. Now, I promised everyone I would do part 2 today, and I'm going out of town with Peaches, my boyfriend, this weekend. So I kind of have to do it because we're going to be out of town for like a week. So what happened in the stream yesterday was, well, I'll explain what happened in the Jack show because some people are upset, and I saw in the chat that they're losing their minds because apparently they're upset that there's a time and a place for things. And if you think I've never criticized Jeremy before, then you probably have never seen a stream with me and Jeremy. The Fandom Menace is definitely not an echo chamber, but then again, I don't talk to everyone in the Fandom Menace. I talk to Jesse and Jeff. And a few other people, maybe like Lethal, and I sometimes talk to Ryan. But as far as that, I really spend more time with Comicsgate people, which would be Ethan, John, Kelsey, and Cecil. And yeah, that's about it. So I kind of keep to myself. But I mean, if you really think that there's an echo chamber, it's like you probably did the last stream that Jeremy and I were on together that wasn't the High Council. We got into like a screaming match, right? There's a reason why I'm not on that team. Well, first off, I don't like being in team settings, except the Jack show, because we're all, we all kind of come together and then we go and do our own thing, right? But yeah, there's a reason for that. Now, last night on the Jack show, I had already done an almost 4-hour stream, and then it was a 7-hour stream. I was exhausted. And I had been trying to end the stream for hours, and the last thing I wanted was to get in a continuous debate over a situation that, to be completely honest, was not my problem. If I would have been in charge of that Zack Snyder Justice League stream, I know confidently I can say that shit wouldn't have happened, and I would have handled it completely differently. So, and I could see the chat was upset with constantly talking about it because we were going in circles. So yeah, I did get pissed, but I was exhausted. That was way past my bedtime because I've been going to sleep early now to try so that way I can spend more time with Peaches during the day and stuff like that. But there's a time and a place for certain conversations, and it definitely wasn't last night, and I definitely lost my temper. And I already apologized to Captain Chokeout and Cecil right after the stream ended because I did feel bad because I know I get really, really grumpy when I'm really sleepy. So as far as the stuff that I saw going on in the chat about that, there you go. There you go. I don't know if there's anything else you want me to say, but to be honest, I think I said everything I need to say. And that live stream, the Jack show, it is unlisted because I unlist all of my live streams, but it's not members only. You guys can go watch it if you go to the community tab of this channel, and you can go see again. And I did 2 live streams yesterday, almost 4 hours, and then a 7-hour stream. And I'm still exhausted from that. But again, I told everyone I would stream today. So hello. Now, what happened in the part 1 stream of the EFAPing the haters. So for those of you that don't know, this has been going on for 6 months. And 6 months ago, this girl named Meg, she decided to tweet this. She decided to tweet, what female fans often struggle with most is feeling safe and comfortable enough to express their love for Star Wars in a space that already exists for fans. Women shouldn't have to ask for permission to exist in this fandom. Now, she pissed a lot of people off with that, including me. And I went and did what I usually do, which is I do my research. And I found out not only did this woman have a platform for 9 years because she had a YouTube channel where she was posting videos for 9 years, which completely, you know, everything that she says in it, it's like, you know, women struggle with feeling safe, comfortable enough to express their love and whatever and ask for permission. It's like, obviously you don't feel that way, and you know that's not true. You're lying because you felt safe and you've had a platform for the past 9 years where you've been posting videos. So 6 months ago, I did a video where I showed that, and I showed how the difference in likes and how she's now getting attention because she posted that tweet. And I guess she reported that 6 months ago because this was her tweet where it's like, you can go, she wanted, you know, at YouTube, go remove this video, and then you telling everyone to go and report my video for harassment, even though it's not. And then calling me dangerous, and then saying that, you know, she needs to deplatform these people. They're dangerous and shouldn't have the amount of reach that they're allowed. So, which I think is completely contradictory to everything that she was pitching, right? Which is women need a safe space, but then she's calling to deplatform, you know, dangerous people, meaning me, a woman, because I caught her lying and I exposed that she was lying and I called her a liar and a clout chaser, which is exactly what she is. So her and her friends did a live stream about me, right? And the live stream is literally named "She Wants to Fight." And the guy who runs the channel was actually adding me on Twitter, and then he apologized yesterday because he's like, oh, I said I would hold myself accountable for the criticism. You know, I apologize to that Star Wars girl. And I was like, well, that's great that you can hold yourself accountable for the things that you've said and done, but why can't you hold Meg? Because in the part 1 of this EFAP that I did yesterday, it was funny. Let me get this up, and I'm just going to share the whole screen because I can't find the damn tab. Okay. I don't know why it does this. I hate that it does that when you share screen. Okay, let's share audio. Let's try that again. Why is it doing this? What's going on? Okay. So I got 26 minutes into it, and it's a 1 hour and 24 streams. So Rachel and Hannah and Emily have been the ones talking, and everything that they have said, I don't think that they realize they actually agree with me. And it's things that I have said, not everything, because Rachel said, oh, women should you should interact with media the way you're supposed to, meaning the way that they want you to. And she did this whole sad story about how some kid told her that she couldn't like Harry Potter because Harry Potter was for boys, which I'm like, if anything, Harry Potter is more for girls than for boys. I've never heard anyone say Harry Potter is for boys. And then later on in the live stream, which I think it was right before I ended yesterday's EFAP, she says how, oh yeah, the Fast and the Furious was written for men, and only men are fans of it. And I'm like, so that's contradictory to what you said in the beginning of the stream, where somebody was giving you shit and bullying you for liking Harry Potter. But what about all of the women that are fans of Fast and the Furious? My friend Jessie, a woman, is a fan of Fast and the Furious. You basically just did to her what you claim those bullies did to you back when you were kids. And here's the thing. I know every single person in the world has been bullied. If you haven't, congratulations, you're like 1 in a million. But let's see. Whatchamacallit? As far as the super chat, oh God, I don't even know how to say your name. I'm sorry. I'm still exhausted. Let me see. Anna, maybe people are upset and confused by the fact that you put out a defense video and then turn around and say it's all Jeremy's fault. I didn't say it was all Jeremy's fault. And when I made that video, I didn't have all of the information. All I said in that video was, I know that Geeks and Gamers is not a hate group because of how, look, they helped me when my sister was gone. And, when me and my family were dealing with that stuff. And I said I felt bad for Lethal and for Ryan. Again, I didn't have all the information. I hadn't seen that stream with Uche and Mr. H where Uche explained you know, that he wasn't looking at the chat. I didn't know that. I don't talk to them, you know? I feel like some weirdo hater, but also thank you for the super chat, by the way. I apologize. I don't remember if I said that or not. So actually, let me leave this up so there's context. So I haven't spoken to Jeremy since I did the High Council with Jeff and Jesse, right? I don't really talk to a lot of people because I got a lot of shit going on in my life, and I mean I don't have time to call my dad, let alone you know, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. When I made my video, I still stand by everything I said in that video because it's like my heart is broken for Lethal and Ryan because that's their hero and he just said F you. I know personally that Geeks and Gamers is not a hate group because they're not. They really aren't. You don't have to like Jeremy, but you can clearly see it's not a hate group. He's not a racist. He's not a misogynist. He's not a sexist. What I said last night in my live stream doesn't negate anything in the video I made because it was me talking from my first-hand experience saying, well, if these people are a hate group, then how come when my sister passed away, without even me asking for it, you know, Jeremy and Siobhan set up a GoFundMe for my family because they looked into how expensive funerals are, which I had no idea, like I said in that video. And he told me when I was dealing with all of this stuff that, hey, you know, you don't have to worry about this because we did that for you. And I was blown away by that. So what I did in my defense video, if you actually go and watch it, you know, again, it's me. I literally say I haven't talked to anyone. This is just my opinion and from my experience with these people, you know, with Jeremy and other people on the team in the past. But so last night, I have more information, right? I watched the Uche and Mr. H stream. I still haven't seen the entirety of the Geeks and Gamers follow-up stream to the Zack Snyder event, and I didn't get to watch all of Ethan's stream, so I still don't have all of the information. But after watching the Uche stream and having the information from that stream that was available to me publicly, because again, I haven't spoken to Uche, I haven't spoken to Jeremy, I haven't spoken to Ryan, I haven't spoken to Lethal, I haven't spoken to anyone on the panel. Just from the information in there was, you know, that then was me, you know, going, okay, well, if you aren't going to be looking at the chat during a charity stream, and you're that inexperienced in doing stuff, and you need to call all of these A-list people that are going to be coming on your channel, then, like I said last night, well, then you should have had Ryan running the stream. And I've done that. We've had a Jack show where I was in Germany and John, you know, his channel got flagged so he couldn't stream. I gave him my code, my streaming code, and so John ran the stream for the Jack show, but it was on my channel. So that was a way for us to like circumnavigate John getting, you know, not being able to stream. And why I'm sorry, I'm still tired. I'm blanking. But so I know this has nothing to do with the title of this video. I'm just addressing the super chat. But so after watching that and having more information, that's why I said, well, then they should have done, in my opinion, A, B, and C. Somebody that's more experienced running live streams, that is going to be paying attention to the chat, that is going to be able to, you know, deal with a difficult situation that you were put in. You should be able to think fast on your feet and respond, so that way the person that's this person that you love, admire, adore, that just insulted you and your entire fan base, you need to think on your feet and be able to respond to that. Now, when I made my defense video, I didn't know any of that, and still everything that I said in my defense video is still valid because it's me speaking from my own personal experience with them not being a hate group. But thank you for the super chat. I know that was a long explanation. Also, I feel bad about this, but I meant to say this in the beginning of the stream, but again, my mind's a little jumbled. My caffeine is not hitting me yet. I have an appointment at 3:30, so I'm gonna have to end this stream at like 2 or 2:30. I think 2:30 would be pushing it because I do have to leave my house an hour beforehand so I can get there on time. But so everyone just be aware, this is going to have to be a shorter stream. So if I miss any super chats, I will do a super chat roundup, and I'll probably do it tonight, and I'll just play like a video game or something, and I'll read super chats. So I apologize. I didn't mean to drag this out and everything, but we do need to do this because I promised everyone I would EFAP this. what is this? Joe, thank you for, hey, Anna, could you post part 1 on Patreon? I cannot be a member of the channel for some reason. Keep up the great work. So I have been, this is going to get me in trouble too. I have been trying to kill that Patreon for honestly over like, and here's the thing. If this video magically disappears, it's 100% because of answering this question, because I've said this a few times. So how to say this without, because it's going to get clipped and taken out of context. So I have a stalker, which, okay, if this video magically disappears, I apologize. Please archive it or something, because again, what I just said, there is somebody who went on my Patreon, I think 2 years ago, and basically what I explained to them, the tiers are a certain reason, and they decided that they were just not going to understand that, and because they paid X amount, they wanted me to basically do XYZ for them. And I said, well, that's not what the tier says. And it basically blew up, and I told that, you know, I mean, it's just all of this drama. So basically, I have not been able to log into Patreon for over a year, and I've been trying to delete that account. But this person, anytime I talk about it, they clip it and they say that I am cyberbullying them to Patreon. And so I'm basically in trouble with Patreon, and I can't even log in. So I've been trying. I can't delete it. I want to delete that damn Patreon because I'm so sick and tired of dealing with this, but I can't, because I can't get in because they say I'm cyberbullying this person, even though it's the exact opposite. But it's going to be re-uploaded onto my secondary channel. I think it's uploading now, actually. Let me see. So it'll be up today. I will post it up there today. But thank you for the super chat. But I don't know why you can't be a member. It might be because you're on your phone, if that's it. But it's just there's a level of crazy that, and again, this is going to get clipped. Okay, how to say this? I don't even know if I can say this because it's just going to get clipped and it's going to get it's going to blow up even more. But again, this isn't what the stream is about. So EFAPing this stream. Okay, so I'm so tired. I'm blinking. Do you want to say anything for super chat? Anna, you didn't get enough sleep. Get some rest. I didn't get enough sleep, but it's okay. I promised everyone I would finish EFAPing the stream. So basically, to recap, and also, by the way, thank you for the super chat. I do sincerely appreciate it. And then Charlie Spur, thank you for the super chat. I'm not associated with Anna in any way, but in light of recent events. Wait, how much does $5 get me laughing? Well, thank you for the super chat. So basically what happened in this is they're doing this stream, right? Because I'm the bad guy apparently in this, because I said that Meg was lying, because I caught her lying, and I said that she was a clout chaser, which is exactly what happened. And she didn't like that. So she called to deplatform me, right? And she's very smart, because she says, if you care about me, you will report this. If you truly care about me, you will, and saying this to all of her Twitter followers, and basically is using emotional manipulation to get people to go and report me without watching my video, right? And so then she has all of her friends on this panel, and it's titled She Wants to Fight, and they advertised it as on Twitter that they are going to be talking about me, right? And this situation, how I am the worst person on the face of the planet. But then we're 26 minutes into it. She didn't even speak for 30 seconds. She's having her friends fight her battle for her. And they're making points that have nothing to do with what the initial problem was, which is I caught her lying. She cried the victim. First, she attacked the entire fan base, attacking both men and women, saying that, you know, men basically don't let women in the fan base, and women have to ask for permission to be fans. And then, you know, attacking women by basically saying that women are too weak to, you know, do it on their own, and that women need a safe space, yada, yada, yada. And then it's like, well, I'm like, hello, I'm a woman, and I have a platform. I feel safe, you know, and so do a lot of women. I know so many women in the fandom, and guess what? None of them have had to ask for permission. I saw Geeky Sparkles from Clownfish TV even do a whole tweet about it, and I retweeted it because she's like, I never had to ask for permission, and I've been around since, you know, the beginning of all of this. She's like, I was selling action figures to people, to guys in college, and none of them questioned why I had these action figures. Like, no woman has had to ask for permission to be a Star Wars fan. And then so Rachel, Hannah, and Emily have been the ones that are talking. And guess what? 99.9% of the things that they have said are things that I have said. And so it's like, well, you guys agree with me, and everything you guys are saying contradicts what Meg did. How come you guys aren't holding Meg accountable for anything she did? So let's watch this. And so for whatever reason, there's a really bad echo if I'm not muted while I play a clip. So I'm going to mute myself while I play this. And again, this live stream is going to be short. I can only stream until maybe 2:15 max. 2:15 max my time, and it is 12:44 right now on March 26th. Wow, we're almost done with March. This year's going by so fast. All right, so let's get this going.
Like, I went to go see it in a theater full of women, and it was probably...
Oh, they're talking about Wonder Woman, by the way.
The most amazing theatrical experience of my life, because it was watching a group of people see someone that looked like them take on the world. We all cried when she ran across no man's land. It was the most amazing movie-going experience of my life. A story.
Hey, guess what? So did men. And I don't think it wasn't because, oh, yay, you know, you can only identify with women, right? This thing that she's trying to paint about Wonder Woman is that women are fine. I said this in the part 1. Apparently, you're only allowed to identify with people that look like you. And so she's saying, oh, well, yeah, we all cried because we saw Wonder Woman, and, you know, that was the first woman. And it's like, well, there's been female superhero movies before. I mean, didn't you watch Elektra? Right? That was like the first Marvel standalone female, you know. Yeah. Apparently not. But, and you know, that was the thing that really pissed me off about Black Panther. And they're like, oh, it's the first Black superhero movie. And I'm like, didn't you watch Spawn? Like, are you saying Spawn's not a super? I mean, no, I know that's not the best movie in the world, but you can't take away the fact that Spawn is a superhero. I mean, he was created by Todd McFarlane, and he is a superhero, maybe anti-hero, I don't know, but he's, you know, again, it's not the best movie in the world. I didn't like it. It scared me when I was a kid. But he is Black, and that was a superhero movie. So when they said, oh, Black Panther's the first Black superhero movie, I'm like, well, no, it's not. It's really not. But so with this, it's like, I don't think she realizes that men were excited to see Wonder Woman 2. And this is the thing that blows my mind. It's like, okay, I'm a woman. I like to look at men. You know, Aquaman made $1 billion. It wasn't for the plot. It wasn't for the special effects. You know why? It's because they advertised everywhere. Jason Momoa shirtless. Jason Momoa shirtless. Jason Momoa shirtless. Guess what? Women love to look at sexy men. Women will pay a lot of money to look at sexy men. Heck, go to Vegas and go see all of the posters for Chippendales and Thunder from Down Under. You know? Women like that kind of stuff too. Why do you think when you go to, you know, a bookstore, why do you think the romance section is so big? Why do you think those books make so much freaking money? Oh my God, it's because women buy it. Heck, remember, what is it? Is it Blue Velvet or International Velvet? And Michael Caine is like the stepdad, and he's a writer, but then he has, so that way he could pay for the daughter to have horseback riding lessons and do all of her horse stuff. He has to start writing romance novels because that pays. I wonder why. But so in this, it's like, yeah, men were crying too. When I went and saw Wonder Woman, I went with my boyfriend. And I know I saw it with him in theaters once. I think I went multiple times to go see Wonder Woman, so I'm getting my mind kind of jumbled. But men like Wonder Woman too, because guess what? Men like to look at women. Oh my gosh. So with this whole narrative that, oh, you know, we need men don't like women in sci-fi, men don't like female superhero movies. I'm like, if anything, it's the opposite. If anything, you'll probably have, especially if the chick is super hot, you're gonna have a very large male audience. Remember the Wonder Woman TV show with Linda Carter? Okay, when I watched it because my mom is a big fan of Wonder Woman. I haven't seen all of it because, again, I only had the VHS tapes that had like 1 or 2 episodes on each VHS tape. But my mom loves Wonder Woman. But guess what? My dad would watch Wonder Woman. I wonder why. It's the pretty lady fighting crime in the sexy outfit. On the Jack Show, we talk about it all the time. Kelsey watched Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman TV show. John watched it. Cecil watched it. Ethan's watched it. I'm sure a bunch of the people in the chat that are men watched Wonder Woman. You want to know why? Because men like to look at women and women like to look at men. And on top of that, guess what? If it's a good story and it's a good actor, actress, and, the show is good, it's going to be doing pretty well. So the first Wonder Woman movie, there are a lot of plot holes. I think it falls off significantly after, like, when they go to the ball scene and stuff like that. And the second I saw Professor Lupin, I'm like, that's the bad guy. Because I'm like, oh, there's like, how many, actors that I know who they are. And then Professor Lupin is just conveniently the guy that's helping them that has a cane. I'm like, that's the bad guy, But so with the Wonder Woman thing, men were there too. And I remember when I was in college, my professor, he was just like, there'll probably never be a live action Wonder Woman movie. And I remember he meant it more as in the sense of, how did he mean it? How do I say this eloquently? Because he wasn't being rude about it. It was more so because superhero movies are very expensive to make, and Wonder Woman is a harder character to write because this was a writing for comics class. So that's what his pitch was, because he was like a comic book lore expert. Like, he knew everything about everything, and he could tell you what happened in every single fucking comic book ever. And he said there's too much lore behind Wonder Woman for somebody to take on that project. So obviously he was wrong, but still it wasn't done to the best that they could do personally. But I still like the movie. But anyways, let's get back into this
story told about a woman, directed by a woman, and it was powerful. That all of us together were having that experience of seeing people that looked like us and being fans. And you went home and you felt great, and you got on the internet and men had something to say about it.
When you make an accusation like this, you need to have receipts. When I say, hey, this girl is trying to deplatform me, and they deny it, I'm like, well, look right here. This chick literally called to deplatform me, right? And she called me dangerous. I'm a Hobbit person. Okay. Where this evidence that men had something to say about it? This is something that I would like to see, because aside from the critiques on how it's actually filmed and how it falls off, I don't think that really, well, that's not meant to take away from somebody's enjoyment. It's just an objective opinion on a movie. I can watch Wonder Woman and still enjoy it, but guess what? I critiqued it even before she said that. The whole thing with, oh, well, who's the bad guy? Well, they're pitching to you the whole movie that these characters are the bad people. But then at the end, it's like, oh, no, it's actually this character. It's like, well, I knew that because the second I saw Professor Lupin in Wonder Woman, I'm like, you're the bad guy, because I didn't know that anyone else was, or aside from Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. I'm like, I don't remember them really advertising anyone else being in this movie. So I'm like, oh, it's Professor Lupin. He's the bad guy. I was like, if you would have had like maybe 1 or 2 more like, well-known actors in that movie, it wouldn't have stood out so much. But I'm like, you got 3 main actors. Well, isn't Jenny in that movie too, from Forrest Gump? Maybe she's one of the Amazonian women. But I'm like, you have the 2 lead actors, and then you have this other guy who's like worldwide beloved. And I'm like, oh, I wonder who the bad guy is. Oh my gosh. And so when that happened, that took away from the enjoyment of the movie for me, because I figured it out right then. And that was something that I think would have been a fun reveal. But anyone who knows who Professor Lupin is, and yes, I know the actor has a name, but he's Professor Lupin to me. I grew up with that. Actually, the first movie I saw him in was Dragonheart with Sean Connery and Dennis Quaid. But anyway, I don't remember his character's name in that movie, but I remember Professor Lupin. And the second I saw that, I remember saying, "Oh, it's Professor Lupin. He's the bad guy." You know? And so here, right now, here's me, a woman, criticizing the film. It doesn't take away from, I don't think, anyone else's enjoyment of the movie. I don't think. For me personally, that's my criticism of it. So what if a man said the same thing? Would she still complain about it? Even though if I'm a woman, apparently my criticism means it's more valid over a man's. Because I think I did say that on, God, what year did that movie come out? I don't even remember. I need more caffeine. But most Afa, thank you for super chat. What was your major? By the way, it's most Afa. Well, thank you. Thank you for the pronunciation assistance. I actually really appreciate that. My major was concept art for animated movies, video games, or AAA video games specifically, and live action movies. So it was, originally I was in animation, but like I said, I had something happened where it affected my ability to draw. And so I did switch majors, and I did have to learn new skills. So that's why I got more into 3D and stuff. But thank you for the super chat. All right, let's continue with this. I feel like there's going to have to be an part 4 and part 3 and part 4 at this point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I guess, feel like it's a publicity stunt, or they're pushing an agenda by including women, or including films that are marketed as for women. But as a woman, I had that same experience when I watched Wonder Woman. It was.
Can I just say, I don't think anyone lost their mind when 27 Dresses came out, because that movie was okay. If men like it, that's great. But come on, we all know who that audience is. When 10 Things I Hate About You came out, I know who that audience is. There's a reason why it's like a chick flick. Okay. Aquaman was made for everyone, but guess what? Aquaman had a bigger female audience than male. Why? Jason Momoa shirtless. You know? And when I look at movies, I'm like, that movie was marketed and made for women like me that are attracted to sexy men. I can't even tell you how many damn times my mother has watched Aquaman and my mom raving about that movie. You know why? Because Jason Momoa was in it for 7 minutes shirtless. And I was actually pissed because I'm like, it's false advertising, because every single fucking commercial, he's there shirtless, running through the fucking water with, the water dripping over his like abs and showing his tattoos. And he was only shirtless for 7 minutes of the movie. I'm like, this is fucking horse shit. This was false advertising. I was expecting 2 hours of shirtless Jason Momoa, and you gave me 7 minutes. It was like the biggest blue ball in the fucking history of blue balls, right? But I didn't see any men complaining because Jason Momoa was shirtless and all of the women in the fucking world and some men lost their fucking mind over it. I didn't see any men complaining about that. But anytime there's an attractive female, women complain about it because, oh, it's the male gaze. And it's like, okay, but the female gaze is okay. You're not switching out sexy male characters. Like Captain America is hot, Thor is hot, Iron Man, well, I mean, Robert Downey Jr., I think he's more like, it's more of the personality that adds to the attractiveness of him, because he's not super yoked like the other dudes are. Superman, oh my god, Superman's fucking hot. I don't think anyone expected Aquaman to be that big of a movie, because Aquaman's been the butt of every fucking joke ever. Remember that Family Guy skit where it's like the fish, the woman's getting like attacked on the beach, and Aquaman's like, oh, I can't save you because I'm Aquaman, I can only be in the water. Aquaman has been the butt of every joke. Nobody expected Aquaman to make $1 billion, but guess what? They appealed to the female gaze. So the female gaze is 100% okay. The male gaze is not. You're not allowed to have a woman look a certain way or to be a certain level of attractiveness. I mean, okay, as a woman, I notice these kind of things. I notice hair and makeup on female characters in movies because guess what? I'm a girl. I like to do my hair. I like to do my makeup. I like feminine things. So if you look at the difference between Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow from Iron Man 2 to even her new one, okay, her in Black Widow in Iron Man 2, every single scene her hair is done. It's these perfect curls, her, and yeah, they do change her look up a little bit. I do actually, I like her with the shorter hair. I think it's fine. But the way she looked the best in Iron Man 2, because her hair and makeup in every fucking scene is on point. And the way that she dresses, it's professional, but it's got that sex appeal that I think is severely lacking any other time that we see her. Like even in the first Avengers movie, when she's going and getting the Hulk and she's in that kind of frumpy green shirt with the long skirt and like the little sash. I'm like, that's not the same fashion that you had in that movie. And then in Avengers Endgame, her hair's not done once. She has makeup on, but it's done in a way to make it look natural. She doesn't have the cat eyes anymore. And like, Scarlett Johansson is beautiful no matter what she wears, or no matter how her hair and makeup is done. She's going to be gorgeous. But me as a woman, I noticed that. And I'm like, well, I like it better when her hair was always curled, when her makeup was always done with the cat eyes. I think that added to the little bit of femme fatale dangerousness of her character. And so I noticed that. But guess what? Women can't be sexualized. So let's, even though Scarlett Johansson, again, is beautiful, she's never not going to be beautiful. No, you could put her in a potato sack and she would still be beautiful. Let's take that away little by little. I noticed that. My friends noticed that. My mother noticed that. And so, again, the female gaze, as far as looking at men, the men having their shirts off in every single superhero movie, I am completely fine with that. But you can't show a woman or a woman in a bra or in a bikini or in like a sexy costume or a little black dress type of thing. That's not okay, because the male gaze is bad, but the female gaze is completely fine. That always blew my mind. Anyways, back to this.
Amazing. I felt like, oh, this is something I've not seen before. I've not felt this before. Like I've only seen superheroes be treated this way when it's a man at the front. I felt the same way. I didn't love Rise of Skywalker, but seeing Leia with a lightsaber training to be a Jedi, I felt that same way.
Okay, so this girl actually has said that she doesn't like The Last Jedi. And, this is why I don't hate The Rise of Skywalker as much as The Last Jedi. Well, because, I liked seeing that JJ threw jabs at Rian Johnson, where it's like, oh, a Jedi would never like throw a lightsaber. I thought that was great. And the scene with Leia, the CG'd scene, that was what everybody wanted to see. That was fan service. That was JJ attempting to do fan service. That's why she liked it, was because it's like, oh, hey, look, it's an ode to the EU. It's an ode to what should have happened from the fucking beginning. That scene should have been a fucking opener for the sequel trilogy, but it wasn't. And here we go. Again, she agrees with me because I've said this before. It's funny, but I'm the bad guy. Remember that. I am the bad guy in this situation.
Really touched me that that she was at least at some point like training to be a Jedi. That meant so much to me, because growing up, like she wasn't. There was no reason, because like they had the same parents. She just like was a girl, and so that wasn't part of the story.
Well, you gotta remember, it had nothing to do with the fact that she was a girl, because she had force sensitivity, and they connected and did all of that. You could switch out. I mean, you could. This is when you have a good story, is when you can gender swap characters and it doesn't change the plot. So if you made Han Solo a female character and you made Luke Skywalker, now I'm getting all jumbled. Okay, Han Solo doesn't change. Okay, if you switch Luke and Leia, it could still be the same movie, except the romance would be between, still like the Jedi, or, I mean, Yeah, in this case, I would gender swap Han Solo because the relationship, and then it could be like the prince and the girl that's, you know, flying the Millennium Falcon, that smuggler. That would be where the relationship is. And it could have been Leia going on the journey. The only reason why it was Luke and not Leia, as we find out in the prequels, is because, guess what? Bail Organa and his wife wanted a girl, not a boy. So that's why Leia went to Alderaan and Luke went to Tatooine, right? So if Bail Organa and his wife wanted a boy, Leia would have gone to Tatooine and Obi-Wan would have been training Leia. That's the only reason why it happened that way. And again, you could easily switch it out and it would still be a good movie. It would still be the same story. It had nothing to do with the fact, oh, she's a girl, that's why she didn't get trained. It's like, no, Leia was running the entire fucking show. People say, oh, there's not enough women in Star Wars because it's Princess Leia. It's like, isn't that powerful to think that Leia was doing the job? Leia was a one-woman job. She was doing the job that no other man could do. That, to me, is powerful, you know? And I don't think any men were offended by the fact that Leia was a strong character because she earned it. She had been raised into this. She was doing something that Luke couldn't do. Luke's not a diplomat like Leia. Luke even said multiple times, he's like, no, you're strong and, you know, you can do this stuff and I can't. Remember that scene? Oh my gosh. Isn't it crazy when you actually watch the damn movie? Anyways, let's get back to it.
At least that's how it felt as a young, as young Emily. So yeah, I think that was really powerful.
Can you guys think back? I've said this before, but can you think back, you know, what if Force Awakens had come out, I don't want to reveal any of our ages, 15 to 20 years earlier, and you had Rey growing up, and that was who you saw on your screen growing up. Can you imagine that?
So we had that with women, 15, 20, 30 years ago. I watched Sarah Connor go from a waitress to a badass woman fighting fucking Terminators. I watched Lara Croft Angelina Jolie, Lara Croft fighting bad guys and, you know, taking on Lara Croft was fucking awesome. I watched Ellen Ripley kill fucking aliens and be the sole survivor of that and then have to go back, and she's got fucking space marines with her and she's the one that lives. That came out before I was born. That's been there. And guess what? Neither of the women I just said were Mary Sue's. Ellen Ripley was so fucking badass in Aliens 2, and she was telling them from the beginning, I've fucking been through this. I barely escaped with my life, and you want to go back? You guys are fucking psych. Like, what do you mean you guys want to go back? You know? And she's the one that survived. Again, because she had that experience from the first movie, you know? Because she was the one that survived the first movie. And I don't think really anyone in that movie, aside from the other girl, because she just screamed and cried, that really pissed me off. But she was scared. You know, there's a whole psychological thing on how people react when they're afraid. It's like, okay, you either, you run, you freeze, or you scream. You know, if it's like a psychological thing with a bear in the forest. You run, you're frozen, or you scream, you know, at the bear's face, right? So, and, you know, the girl, she got scared. That's why she died. And, you know, also you're going up against an alien with, you know, more, how to describe the xenomorph. Well, obviously it's more stealthy and it's the one that's hunting you. So you're kind of at a disadvantage, especially you're not as physically able as the alien, the xenomorph. And so based on everything that Ellen was witnessing, because she could have been the one that went into the crawl space and not the captain and died in the beginning, you know, but she wasn't. The captain was. He's the one that died. She could have been the one that got the face hugger on it, but she wasn't. She was there during all of this, and she watched and she learned from observing and responding that way. So the first movie that's her gaining her experience and learning from the stuff that's around her, right? She's learning the alien, the xenomorph. She's learning by the way it responds to situations. She got lucky, but she's also smart, which is why she survived. You know, if I was in her situation at the end of the movie, I would have freaked the fuck out when you leave the ship and you're in the escape pod and the alien is in there with you. Oh my God, that terrifies me. That scene where she's like, you know, crawling over and slowly doing that. Oh my God, I was terrified watching it. It still gives me the chills. And she, you know, she's slowly zipping up the suit and, you know, that. And oh my God. Oh my God. But there you go. That was a movie where she gained that experience. And so in the second movie, it's not, oh my God, this one random chick is, you know, surviving and these space marines aren't. Like these badass fighters aren't. It's like, no, we know she's going to survive. We know she's going to be the one fighting the alien queen because she's the only one there with the fucking experience on how to fight these things. So it's like, well, there you go. She just earned it. If they would have done that in The Force Awakens and shown Rey actually having these experiences. So I made a lot of excuses for The Force Awakens when it came out because I thought, specifically because Disney had merchandise for holocrons, right? And so me being a Star Wars fan, I know what a holocron is. So I assumed because Disney had holocron merchandise, which I had never seen before. Oh, actually, there is a couple of action figures that are like EU action figures that have holocrons. But what I thought was Rey, and the reason why Rey knew how to fight, Rey knew how to do all of this perfectly, was I thought it was she had a holocron. And there was some kind of, or maybe Luke was teaching her, and that's why Luke was off doing that, and Han and Leia, you know, had to pretend that their marriage had ended to protect her. I thought that they were all protecting her because when Kylo Ren says, "What girl?" he obviously knew who she was, right? There was some kind of plan there for that. I hope. At least I got the impression. So what I assumed was that, okay, Kylo Ren killed everyone, so they had to hide Rey. That's why Luke is acting out of character. That's why Luke ran and hid. But so I thought Rey knew how to do all of this stuff. She knew how to fly the Millennium Falcon. I assumed because she was Han and Leia's daughter. You know, I assumed Kylo Ren was the older brother and she was the younger sister that they hid. And so they had to leave her on Jakku. And so, but she's learning the Force from Luke because he, you know, they had to separate the twins at birth because the Force would be too strong and they didn't want the Emperor and Darth Vader to find the twins. They didn't want them to find Luke and Leia. So I assumed, okay, they hid Rey on some planet that they knew Kylo Ren would never go to. And Luke went on the opposite side of the galaxy. I thought, oh my gosh, guess what exists in Star Wars? Oh yeah, hologram communications. I thought Luke was either teaching her through hologram communications or, you know, the Force Skype, or not Force Skype, but something where they're touching minds because Luke, we already know Luke has that ability. Because remember when Luke was training on Dagobah with Yoda and he can feel Han and Leia's pain from across the galaxy? So I assumed Luke might have mastered that ability to where he might be able to mentally contact Rey on Jakku, or Luke figured out how to make a holocron, and so Rey was learning from holocrons of maybe, yeah, Obi-Wan, or maybe Obi-Wan did that. This was what I, as a Star Wars fan, the excuses I was making for this movie and why Rey was so good at everything before The Last Jedi came out. So I assumed that and that was going to be a big reveal. And that's why when she finally does go at the end of The Force Awakens and it looks like she's about to cry and it's the intense music with Luke looking at her, I thought it was, oh my gosh, this uncle I haven't seen in, what, 20 fucking years. And I'm finally seeing my teacher again in person, and now he's going to finish my training. And that's why Leia hugs her instead of Chewie when Han dies, because I thought that was her daughter. You know, so that's what my assumption was based on that. That's why when I first saw the movie, I didn't think she was a Mary Sue, because me as a Star Wars fan, I could make excuses for why things were happening. Because I'm like, this, and I thought that The Last Jedi was going to be the best fucking movie ever. I thought that everything that I just explained to all of you guys, I thought that was going to be in that movie, and it was going to answer all those questions, like all of those plot holes. Because yeah, me, I'm like, okay, well, this is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. And I like to solve problems. I like to figure out, and I get really happy when I'm watching movies and I figure out when it is more of like a mystery, like I can come up with different versions. If I can figure it out and then still be surprised, I like that, right? So I thought The Last Jedi was going to answer that. We were going to find out why Rey was able to, you know, fight with the lightsaber, even though to our knowledge, she had never held one. That's what I thought. And I was like, also, I'm like, why wouldn't you just go try to find your parents? You know, that's if my parent, well, first off, I'm like, if they fucking ditched me on a planet, then fuck you. I'm going to go live my life. I'm not going to stay here in the middle of fucking nowhere doing nothing with my life. I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go make something of myself, right? And so with Ray and that whole situation, I know that I've kind of gone on this long tangent when I should be EFAPing this damn stream. This is how much I don't want to watch this anymore. But yeah. Anyways, you're not going to just stay there for no reason. I thought that there was going to be all these answers and there wasn't. But I was making excuses of it. All right, let's get back to this.
If there was a little Jedi that looked like that was a woman, that there was
Ahsoka.
Female Jedi, like
Ahsoka,
as the lead of their
Ayla.
own movie, not just the ones we saw in the prequels. Like, I can only imagine that would have been amazing.
I really hate that people can only identify with their own gender. I really hate that. I hate that narrative.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Little Rachel would have loved that.
Yeah.
It would have been something.
That's what I think of when I think of more women being represented in Star Wars. I think of the younger girls, the younger women who are seeing themselves at that age and how seen they must feel and how important they must feel. And the fact that they have a character that they love that they can relate to who is like them. That's who I think of. And that's why I just think it's so important. And the thing about Star Wars, I mean, think how big it is.
Now, remember, this is the girl that is right now. She's talking about how, it would be important for little girls to see themselves in a movie. This is the same girl that said this, that said, women shouldn't have to ask for permission to be in the fandom. And then calls to deplatform me. This is the girl that called to deplatform me, right? Right. So again, this is the most that she's spoken in this entire live stream. And also it's like, well, how come women can only relate to other women? That's my big question. Why is it women can only relate to other women? I hate that narrative. And if you're stuck on that, you can only relate to somebody as the same gender as you, you're going to have a really hard life. And this is why I said yesterday in the part 1, I'm like, go watch Remember the Titans and see how people, that was, dealing with racism. I think it is so important to be able to relate to people that are nothing like you, that aren't the same gender as you. And I think that's the best way to have, a better understanding of the world and the people around you is being able to relate. Like I said, Star Wars spoke to me because when I saw Luke Skywalker looking at the binary sunset, that moment spoke to me and my soul because I saw for the first time someone else that, again, Luke looks nothing like me. I was a small child. He was a full-grown man, blonde hair, blue-eyed. I was a little monkey child. But in that moment, I saw a person whose soul wanted the same thing my soul wanted, right? And he was I did the same thing. I grew up on a farm. I looked off at the sunset and wanted to do more and wanted to go on adventures and just wanted more and had that desire in me. And I saw that in Luke, and that touched me. I already liked the movie because I was like, whoa, Darth Vader's cool, Princess Leia's cool, what's going on? I'm intrigued. But in that moment, it changed my life forever. And I'll never forget watching that. And I think it's so fundamentally important for people to understand and be able to empathize with people that are different than them. Because, I mean, that, not to get all, Miss Universe on you or Miss America on you. But I mean, I feel like that's the first step in achieving world peace. And I think that's why we have so many wars and stuff. It's because people aren't willing to listen and they're not willing to empathize with people that are different than them. Right. And so saying, oh, well, little girls can only see themselves as a female character. I think that is so dangerous to teach children, and it's such a disservice to say, well, and again, this is what I said yesterday. I think a lot of this has to do with cosplaying as well, is and I think that's one thing that they won't admit is that, oh, well, we want a character that looks like us. It's not, because, oh, well, we need this representation in a movie. It's no, we want to be able to cosplay easier, and there's no character that looks like me. So it's harder for me to cosplay. I think that's actually a really big part of the problem that not a lot of people acknowledge. And I mean that which honestly it is part of the fun of cosplaying is completely that's why little girls play dress up, and I guess little boys do too. It's so that way you can, become something you're not, and you can go in that escapism fantasy. That's why in Star Trek they have the fucking holodecks and they go and play characters that aren't them, So with this that I've seen, and it's people, cosplaying just became really popular all of a sudden because it's not, they trying to make it not as difficult. That's why characters don't have as intricate costumes anymore. That's why, they've been kind of going back on designs. It's because certain companies want to make it easier for people to cosplay as their characters. And so cosplay has become so important. So that's why we need to have A, B, C, D, E type of characters so that A, B, C, D, E type of people can cosplay as those characters. I think that's why Rey is one of the most generic looking characters, because they literally cast a girl who's pretty. Daisy Ridley's very pretty, but there are so many girls that look like Daisy Ridley. And so her costume is the easiest thing to emulate. Go back and look at Padme. It is extremely difficult to cosplay as Padme. You have to really know how to sew or do some, magic to make those costumes that Padme was in. I think the easiest one was her white jumpsuit thing. But even then, her hair is kind of difficult. I don't know how to do that hairstyle, and I like doing hair a lot. But it's very difficult to cosplay as Padme. But guess what? Anyone can cosplay. I can go to the store right now and get stuff and cosplay as Rey in half an hour. I can do that. Padme, hell no. Leia, I mean, it might be a little bit harder to find. I guess I could go run to Target and find a bikini and then, I don't know, get a Sharpie and do something and then put my hair up that way. But the original characters are not easy to cosplay at all, whereas the new ones, extremely easy. And I don't think anyone has really, touched on that yet. But that's something that I personally noticed after going to LA Comic-Con. Anyway, I think Anna has been shadow banned. I never get recommendations from anything on her anymore, probably. But you have to make sure that you ring the bell for notifications and that it's set to all, or else you don't get my notifications. All right. And there's over 800 people watching, so thank you so much. Let's smash the like button. And so again, the girl that's talking right now is the one that called to deplatform me. And this is what she is saying.
Think how big it's gotten. Think how many shows were announced at the Disney investor meeting last year? Like
overload.
Too many almost. Not too many. You can never have too much Star Wars. No. But there is so much content. And within all of that content, there is going to be something for everyone. You're not going to like all of it, and that's okay. Not all of it is going to be for you, and that's okay.
Wow, you know how I've said that before? Again, a majority of the things that they're saying on this panel is something that I have said before. And it's funny that she's saying this, but then this is the same girl that tweeted this. That tweeted this. That tweeted this. That tweeted this. Tweeted that. Think about that. It's and nobody calls her for it, right? It's like your actions speak louder than words, and what she's saying right now hasn't matched up with her actions. And no one says a damn thing about it. That's what blows my mind. It's like, you do realize you're saying something that I have said, but apparently I'm a dangerous, hateful person that needs to lose my platform. Get back to it.
Just because someone says, I think there should be more female leads in Star Wars, that doesn't mean that there can't be everything else.
I mean, look at how excited we all are for the Obi-Wan show.
Exactly.
There's not even a guarantee there's...
Okay. Okay. So again, like I've said many, many times, I don't care if the character is a male or female character. I just care if it's a well-written character and the way that Disney does things. I don't like token characters. I don't like having the token black guy, the token Asian, the token whammon, right? I think if you're going to have a character, they need to have a purpose and you need to write them well because... And I think you should, it's like, what if you were this character? Like, would you want your character just to be a side character or the butt of every joke? Unless that is the purpose. If this is supposed to be a comedic relief character, that's a completely different story. But the whole, oh, well, we need more female characters in Star Wars. It's like, well, I think we need good characters in Star Wars. I don't care if they're male or female. But again, what she's saying and the way that she's saying it doesn't it doesn't seem like it's the same person as the person that's saying this, as the person that's saying this, the person that's doing this. It's one of those situations where it's like, well, you're not practicing what you're preaching. And that is a straw man argument that she just made, because what she just did was put words in my mouth, right? Because again, this is a live stream where they're, doing this in response to me calling her a liar, and then her calling to deplatform me and then saying, oh, well, I don't think it's wrong when people say that there should be more female leads. And if you don't want that, then, I never said that. I don't think I've ever said Star Wars needs less female leads. I've said multiple times, I just want them to be good characters. I don't care if they are male or female, but they don't listen. They don't listen to that. I'm a terrible person. I'm a hateful, dangerous person, and I need to lose my platform because I caught Meg lying. This whole live stream is about that situation, but none of them are addressing that, and they're making up problems that aren't actually problems. They're making up situations that never happen. Like this whole thing, it's like, I never said that, why was I timed out? Okay. I don't know what's going on. I had somebody complain about getting timed out last night. I don't know what's going on. If YouTube is automatically timing people out or if I have a rogue mod that's doing things. But if you know who timed you out, let me know. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah, and Ahsoka. Yeah, Ahsoka's a great character. And guess what? It wouldn't have mattered if Ahsoka was a male character, right? If Ahsoka was a boy instead of a girl, it wouldn't have changed anything. It's just it's a good character, in my opinion. I know some people don't like Ahsoka. I do. Let's see. Thunderstorm, thank you for that. They only mean their female voice. Other female voices are forbidden and toxic. Exactly, which is what Rachel said earlier. It's like you can say whatever you want, but, there's a certain way you need to act with media. And, there's a certain way that you need, there's an approved way on how to interact with certain media. And I'm like, so you're trying to regulate and police the way people interact with things. That's fucked up and that's wrong. That's why I say they agree with like 99.9% of the things that I say. I do not agree with that at all. Maybe I should say 95 because it actually is more 95. But again, they're tiptoeing around the point and they're making arguments and points that I don't think that they realize that a majority of I've said and they agree with me. Like this whole thing about the women in Star Wars. Again, I've always said I don't care if they're male or female as long as they're good characters, right? If anything, I've said that there needs to be more aliens. That's been my biggest complaint and it doesn't need to just be the side token alien character like the alien, like the penis alien character in The Rise of Skywalker. I don't like that. I think that there should have been more aliens, more prominent as members of the cast. Like, look, like I said, George Lucas added something new in every single movie. Look at the cantina scene. That's one of the most iconic scenes in all of Star Wars. And guess what? It's because you see all of these different types of aliens. Chewbacca is an alien. That's one of the main characters, right? And nobody understands him except for freaking Han, really. And some of the characters, they learn to understand him and stuff. R2, Luke can understand him. They can understand him. We can't, but we have to go off of the other dialogue. I think that is so smart and so clever to do. That's more so something that I would want to see. I want to see more aliens in a sci-fi movie that aren't just throwaway characters. And they just used Chewie because he sells well, and they just had him as, the sideline character. That really irritated me. I don't like that. I don't like having token characters. I like characters that have a purpose. Chewbacca had a purpose. He was Han Solo's best friend and co-pilot. The ship's getting shot up, and Han and Chewie are fixing the ship while they're running away from the bad guys. Remember? And I loved it when Han's like, Chewie, what did you do? He's like, why did you do this? Why did you do this? We're about to take off. And it's like, Chewie had a purpose, And I mean, he's the one that went and found C-3PO when C-3PO disappeared in Cloud City. He's the one putting C-3PO back together. He's not just a token side character. He's an important part of the team. That's my irritation. But so anyways, back to this. They're making up arguments that they don't realize that either I have already said or I agree with. And they're not talking about the main issue.
There's going to be a woman in that show at this point because he's going to be in a desert by himself.
Exactly.
About Anakin's butt, apparently.
Well, and something I keep seeing, and going off that, something I'm seeing in the comments is stuff about good storytelling. I agree. I would love a
See, they agree. They agree.
Plethora of women characters, but it means nothing without good storytelling.
Oh my gosh, it's like their fandom menace. She just agreed, And that's all we've been saying. Rey could have been the best character of all time, right? And I gave reasons earlier on how they could have done that well, right? But they didn't decide to do that. And I think if I talk to these people based on how they have been agreeing with me or saying things that I agree with, I think if I pitch them that, I could blow their minds. But anyways, let's get back to this. Yeah, hypocrites, exactly. And again, this is what drives me crazy. They're saying things, they're agreeing with the chat, they're agreeing with me, they're saying things that I have already said multiple times, but none of them are holding Meg accountable for trying to deplatform me. They want strong female characters. They want women, and they said that a lot in the beginning of the stream, is they want more women that have platforms in the fandom. And I'm like, I'm a woman, and I think I have a pretty, a decent sized platform that I have grown myself. I have built this platform myself. Nobody else has made videos on my channel, right? I've made every single video. No one else goes and does the research for me. I do the research. Nobody else turns on the camera and talks and edits and uploads and, titles and tags and puts the description in the videos. I do that. That's me. Again, I have had advice because I have very successful friends that I have made, and they have given me advice. Like I said before, it's like you can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, or you can teach a man to fish and he'll fish for life. I've had friends that have helped teach me to fish, and I will always be indebted to them for that because they taught me how to fish, right? And so I have done this, but they want to deplatform me because I don't, even though they claim, they want more women, they want women to have platforms, but the second a woman, meaning me, doesn't interact with media the way that they have approved of, even though they're saying things that they don't realize I have said and that they actually agree with me, they want to deplatform me. And so they're doing the opposite of what they claim that they want. And none of them are holding the person accountable for calling out to deplatform me, which apparently is that's actually against what they have claimed that they want, right? All right, here we go.
And again, think about the way people read books. I still am a huge book nerd in school. I would read classics, I would read fantasy books, I would read all across the spectrum, and I would get in so much trouble during class because those were the type of stories I wanted. Oh yeah, always. Those are the type of stories I wanted to consume. I had classmates who either didn't read a lot, they only read comics, nothing against that, those are stories, that's good storytelling, or they would read a certain genre all the time. We didn't get into disagreements about that. It's just your taste, and
that's not an issue. Again, it's a bunch of straw man arguments, and they're all tiptoeing around the actual point, because I don't know why. I don't know why they're so scared to talk about this when they were really ballsy on Twitter. At least, okay, the only people I interacted with Twitter was David and Meg. I don't know Rachel, Hannah, or Emily, or Jason's Twitter. And if they did interact with me, I don't know, because I didn't know that those were their Twitter handles. But the way that David and Meg interacted with me on Twitter, and the way that they titled the stream, "She Wants to Fight," and then they do acknowledge the chat, and they've thrown a couple of like side swipes at me, which actually make them look dumb, because the things that they threw at me, I'm like, I said that, I've been saying that for years, and you're trying to use that as an own on me, right? And you just made yourself look stupid, and everyone in the chat knows that you look stupid for trying to own me with a point that I've already made, saying, oh, well, we think this and you don't. And everyone's like, no, you guys actually agree with Anna, so you just owned yourselves by trying to own me. And so this whole thing about books, I don't know what she's trying to get at, because I don't remember what she says after. But again, this has nothing to do with what this live stream was supposed to be about. But anyways, let's get back to it. Let's see what she has to say.
And what you like. Same thing about food. You don't see, well, I'm sure people throw down about food on the foodie part of Twitter. I'm not part of that, so I don't know anything.
Yeah, they do. And I say this all the time. I hate water. I fucking hate water. I think it's disgusting. That doesn't change the fact that a majority of the human race likes water. So she agrees with me again.
But it's the same thing. It's like you want stuff that satisfies you and fills you up, but that doesn't mean every meal you're going to have is going to be what that story that you're looking for, and that's fine. Like that.
Nobody said anything against that. That's not part of the argument.
That's fine. I am all about well-written characters. Like you said, the Kenobi show, based off of what I've seen from Deborah Chow, like this is going to be excellent storytelling, and I am excited about.
Here's the thing with Deborah Chow that I don't think people are realizing. She's directing it. I don't think she's writing it. To my knowledge, you guys can correct me in the chat. Off the top of my head, I only heard that Deborah Chow was directing it. To my memory, I don't remember anything about her writing it. You guys can let me know in the chat if that's true or not. I don't remember off the top of my head, because it's been a while since I did a deep dive into the Kenobi stuff. Let's see, water. Let's see. And oh my god, I have to pee so bad. Deborah Chow is one of the directors in the Mandalorian show. So Kenobi show is let's see. Just directing it, I believe. Okay, so then, okay, visual storytelling might be good, but what if she doesn't have a good script? Well, that will actually really show how good she is if she has a terrible script and she's able to pull it off. So again, what she's saying, nobody has disagreed with her. Nobody. This isn't an argument. Again, they're tiptoeing around the actual issue.
About it, like, would I love to see more female characters? Abso-freaking-lutely, but not at the cost of story. And
oh my gosh, she's fandom menace. She is fandom menace to the freaking core. There you go. That's something that we have all said. I have said that multiple times. Well, as far as the women part, I'm like, you can have as many women as you want, as long as it fits the story. The thing that I've said over and over again that I want to see more of is aliens, and not tokenized side characters. But anyway, let's get back to it.
I think that was something, and I've been honest about this as well, that I struggled a little bit with this season of The Mandalorian. So I can go into that at a later date. Not going to do it now, but that was just kind of something that I had to have some discussions with people, because I'm like, I don't see this. I don't see the point in this. I don't see the point in this plot line, things like that. And doesn't mean I lost my marbles at anybody. I'm just like, okay,
okay. And she's talking about The Mandalorian. Yeah. I said this yesterday in the part 1 stream. I didn't like The Mandalorian. I like Baby Yoda. I love Baby Yoda. I think The Mandalorian is a fucking idiot, and there's things that I like about it, but a majority of it I didn't like. But this is how I this is how I categorize, I should say, The Mandalorian. Okay, Rian Johnson said "fuck you" in the ass with something hard and sandpapery. J.J. Abrams is a fucking idiot. There was never any hope for that. The Mandalorian is, okay, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they actually love Star Wars, right? And so I think of it as a child. When a little kid draws you a picture, right? And they draw, let's say, maybe it's your child, okay? Or maybe it's your niece or nephew, okay? This child that you know draws you a picture, and they draw you, and they draw your house, they draw your pet, and, you know, it's a child, so it's not going to be a photorealistic drawing. It's not going to win any awards, but they tried. They did it because they love you, and they wanted to do something nice for you. And nobody's going to look at like a 5-year-old child's drawing and, you know, be like, wow, that's absolute shit. You're never going to say that to a child because, you know, it's a little kid, and they tried, and they did it because they care. That's the way I see The Mandalorian. That's why, again, I don't do reviews of it because I haven't felt compelled enough to do that. And I know a majority of my audience likes it, and I don't want to piss them off, and I don't feel passionate enough about it to do a dedicated video to it. So that's why I don't. And if I do feel passionate enough to talk about something, I do it in a live stream. The way I see The Mandalorian is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they love Star Wars, and they're trying, much like a child drawing a picture. It's not going to be a photorealistic copy of Star Wars. It's not, but it's people that care that are trying. So I can respect that, right? Let me read this super chat. Paul Perez, a crazy sci-fi fan. Thank you for that. Hi, Anna. From what I have been seeing, these 6 YouTubers are using emotion and feelings to get their points through. No actual truth or facts. This is from my point of view. Yeah, so here's the thing. And this is part 2 of this EFAP stream. The part 1 is uploading onto my live channel right now. Let me actually put up that banner so everyone knows. So I have a secondary channel, guys, that is called That Star Wars Girl Live, where I re-upload my live streams. I'll actually post the link to that, and I'll pin that in the comment section of this, or in the chat. I'll pin it so you guys can go link if you guys want to go watch it. So here is my live channel. And so part 1 is uploading, and that stream's like 3 hours, almost 4 hours long. So it takes a little while. But so the pinned tweet, right? Or the pinned comment right now is a link to my live channel where it will be uploaded, or where it's being uploaded, right? So if you guys want to go watch part 1 where I've gone a little bit more into this, you can. That's where it's at. But as far as this, they're making this whole live stream was to talk about me calling Meg a liar, right? And they don't think that Meg's a liar, and so they're all making up these arguments as what they think I'm upset about with Star Wars, right? Because none of them took the time to talk to me, aside from insulting me on Twitter and not even acknowledging the fact that I'm a woman, and calling to deplatform me and calling me a hateful, spiteful person, calling to get my video flagged in a targeted harassment campaign against me, saying terrible things, and here we go, allows hateful, dangerous people to make a living on their platform, even though that they claim they want women in the fandom to have platforms and to feel safe. It's like, yeah, targeted harassment campaign against me doesn't make me feel safe, even though you claim that's what you want, you know? And so instead of talking about that, everyone on this panel for 32 minutes now has been making up excuses and has been making up scenarios on what they think I'm upset about in the fandom, and trying to make up, or I guess put the puzzle pieces together on what they think I have problems with, which I don't, which they would know if they ever watched one of my videos, or if they ever talked to me, or if they ever asked me any of this. But they didn't. They're putting words in my mouth, and they're creating straw man arguments, and they're making up issues that don't exist because they didn't take the time to research the person that they are talking about, meaning me. And everything that they're saying, it's like everyone that knows me in the chat knows what they're saying. It's like, yeah, they're trying to own me with these statements, but they're really just owning themselves and making them look dumb, because the things that they're saying, they don't realize that they agree with me and other Fandom Menace members. And then none of them here are holding Meg accountable. This live stream really should have just been Meg and David, right? Because they're the only ones that interacted with me on Twitter and were basically in denial. Meg was, saying shit about me, calling to deplatform me, calling me hateful and dangerous, and that I shouldn't have a platform, calling to mass flag me in a targeted harassment campaign. And Meg is having her friends fight her battle for her. Instead of being what she wants strong women, instead of being a strong woman that could fight her own battles, she needs other people to fight for her. And she wants to deplatform me, who is a woman who fights her own battles. Right? Right? So that's where we're at right now.
I don't agree with all of these decisions. I'm going to continue moving on and going to see where this goes.
People are allowed to think. Sorry, Hannah. People are allowed to think different things are good.
Mhm.
Like, there are a ton of people in our comments, which I'm reading as we go, that are saying, well, we don't object to women characters. We object to bad stories and Mary Sue's. Nobody has ever commented on the fact that Luke Skywalker shot down the Death Star after shooting Womp Rats.
Okay, again, I'm going to explain something to this woman, because here's the thing. I've had guns my entire life, right? I mean, I have a bullet in my collarbone, right? Right? There you go. I have a bullet in my collarbone. I've been shot before, right? Okay. If you spend your whole life doing something, yes. And that's why that line is in there, is because everyone else says no one can do it. And Luke says, no, me and my friends used to do that back home. You know, he's had experience doing that. That's why Luke is put on that team. That's why he's in that squadron. Luke has had experience doing that. So Luke already knows how to pilot a ship, right? Luke knows how to shoot things. Luke is a good shot. That was established with that dialogue. That was purposely put there with that. That's when you have good writing that establishes something, you know? Okay, so we get that down. Luke, we saw Luke training with Obi-Wan on the ship, right? And even then, Luke was using his targeting computer, and that's why him and everyone else was missing. And that's when Obi-Wan says, no, use the Force, Luke. And Luke uses the Force and shoots it. Remember how he was training in the beginning of this movie in Star Wars, where they're on the Millennium Falcon and he's complaining to Obi-Wan that he's not going to be able to see because he puts the shield in front of his eyes so he can't see. And Obi-Wan says, you know, you need to block the shot with your lightsaber. Han's there laughing. Han's, made up religion. You're a crazy old guy. Chewie's over there laughing at Luke, right? That scene is in there to establish that Luke is going to have the ability to do something later on in the film. This is when you have good storytelling. That's why what she's complaining about, nobody complained about, because if you actually watch the movie, you can see how it was set up in the beginning of the movie, so that way it would be believable for him to blow up the Death Star at the end of the movie. And they're all laughing about it, and this is me going, did you actually watch Star Wars? I don't think you actually watched the movie, because him putting the blast shield down so he can't see where the droid is shooting at him, and he's able to use the Force to see where the shot is going to come from so he can block it. That is established in the beginning of of A New Hope. And so that way at the end, when Obi-Wan tells him to use the Force, just like he did back in the beginning of the movie when he was training him, that's why he's able to make the shot at the end. I shouldn't have to explain this to people that claim to be Star Wars fans. I shouldn't have to explain this to a woman that has a Star Wars tattoo on her arm, right? If you... I'm going to get really, really mad. But anyways, let's get into this, because it's very frustrating.
Which there was clearly, I mean, he trained for a whole 25 minutes. But
okay, that's of screen time. And it still makes more sense that we actually saw him getting trained how to do something in a movie, whereas Rey was never trained how to turn on or wield a lightsaber, and she does it and she beats a guy that's been doing it his entire life. Rey didn't get that 25 minutes, right? And if your complaint is off time, well, guess what? That's screen time. That's not the actual time of the movie. You know, how long did it take for them to get from Tatooine to Alderaan? You know, and him training him the entire way. Heck, even to get from Luke's house to Mos Eisley. Obi-Wan could have been talking to Luke the entire time and explaining the Force to him and how the Force works, right? Right? So you also have to think about that. You know, how much, even, okay, the Titanic takes place, that movie's like what, 2.5 hours? Okay. Well, guess what? That actually takes place over days. Like, the movie is taking place over days, but we see that story summed up into 2.5 hours. But that's not the actual time that goes through in the movie, right? Or that the characters are going through. So she's complaining because it's only 25 minutes in the movie. Okay, well, you know, if you actually look into it, that could be days, that could be weeks, you know? We actually, if you're really going to complain about that, look down to the actual time. And again, by that line being in there of Luke being able to shoot romp rats, well, he'd been doing that for years, so we already know he's a good shot, you know? That was why that was put in there, to establish that. That's why Luke got put onto Red Squadron. And then the thing with the Force and Obi-Wan telling him to trust in the Force, and that's why Luke closes his eyes when he makes the shot that blows up the Death Star. That's because of the training that was established earlier in the movie, when Obi-Wan puts a blast shield in front of him and Luke has to use the Force to block the droid shooting at him. It's not that hard to understand. I'm Da, thank you for the super chat. Isn't it hypocritical to complain about Mary Sue's when you are literally bulletproof? Question mark. I'm not bulletproof. It's literally in there. It hurt like a fucking bitch when I was a kid. So yeah, if it was bulletproof, it would have bopped off me, you know? Russell, thank you for the super chat. Spread your content out on as many platforms are as available to you, regardless of whether you can monetize them currently. The writing's all over the wall. Well, thank you for the super chat. That I have 3 channels, so yeah, you know how it is. All right, let's get back to this. I have to pee so bad. I'm like,
that's an insult that's only ever thrown at female characters. Like, I mean, maybe somebody does. I don't feel like yelling about how Superman is overpowered, because
if you actually read the comics and you knew about Superman, you would understand why Superman is the way he is, and how he's an alien, that the sun is like, it's like a battery, right? And the sun is supercharging him. That's why he has certain abilities on Earth where he wouldn't have them on Krypton. That is established if you actually look into it, right? And Superman has weaknesses. He can't see through lead. You know, does that make any, so why doesn't Superman see through lead? If you actually really get down into it and you look in the research, well, you'll find out. And stuff like that. But okay, with this, I mean, she could literally switch out Superman and Wonder Woman and people are still going to laugh at her because it's like, well, just do the damn research, right? Jason, thank you for that. New to the channel, love the content. Oh, well, thank you. Welcome. Let me read this next one that popped up. Russell Hall, thank you for that. You have 3 channels all on YouTube. Well, I got a million things to do. I don't have time to upload onto other channels. Let's see. Upload onto other platforms. It's a bitch. Eric. Oh, I have no idea how to say your last name. So Eric, thank you for the super chat. What caliber is in your shoulder? I don't know. But thank you for the super chat. All right, let's get back into the.
But I've seen that levied again and again at Captain Marvel is, oh my God, how is
she is Superman had to learn how to fly. Captain Marvel just did it. This is so fucking stupid. Oh my God. Is she really trying to compare Superman to the Captain Marvel, the movie? Oh my God. I'm gonna lose brain cells. You know what? I'm gonna let this play while I run and go pee. Okay? And here we go. Because I'm gonna get pissed and I need to get through this.
She's so powerful. She's an alien. Don't ask questions. It's part of the story.
Right.
You know?
And Luke's training between 5 and 6, which we don't see, is like similar to the jump that we see with Rey, but no one really.
Yeah. And you can be, you know, and with Rey especially, you get the idea that, you know, why is she so good all of a sudden with a lightsaber? If you guys ever seen like somebody who's really good at, say, one instrument and they pick up another one really easily because it's similar, Yeah, like I've got my ex's dad is teaching himself electric bass, which is going a lot easier than me teaching myself guitar because he already has played fretted instruments and I'm starting from scratch. You know, maybe Ray picked up the lightsaber quickly because she fought with a staff. She knows the ideas. She's a and it's just it's again, it's a movie about fake wizards in space. You know, there's, you know, you cannot.
The movie about fake wizards in space, and why are you complaining about it? Oh, okay, what did I miss? Probably nothing. Oh my goodness. I'm never going to get through this.
Not find her character line fulfilling, but that doesn't mean that somebody who does is stupid or only likes Ray because she's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you never don't know what somebody else's life is.
And
oh my gosh, I've said that before. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny how I've said that before? Again, this is an hour and 30-minute stream of them complaining about shit that that isn't an issue, and they're tiptoeing around the issue. Okay, this is why I said in the part 1 stream, people have complained about clickbait. That's literally what this is. They advertised it on Twitter that they were going to do, oh, she wants to fight. We're going to go and talk about, you know, this girl that's fighting with us that we're trying to deplatform because she's a hateful, dangerous person. But then they spend an hour and 30 minutes talking about issues that have absolutely nothing to do with the actual issue. The actual issue is Meg got offended because 6 months ago she put out this tweet and I did my research on her and I found out she was lying. And I found out why she was lying because she wanted attention, right? And so I did a video and apparently 6 months ago she reported it and she's upset that nothing happened because there was nothing in my video that would be considered by anyone as harassment. I just followed the breadcrumbs and put the puzzle pieces together. And so because of that and her coming back and then saying this, which pissed off a lot of people, I responded with, hey, remember 6 months ago when you lied about this and I found out that you actually, you know, this was a lie and I found out what you were doing and I called you out on it. And because of that, she decides to report me to YouTube and then calls for everyone to deplatform me in a targeted harassment campaign. And they advertised the stream like they were going to talk about that and they were going to be calling me out with, you know, she wants to fight. And then all they've done is talk about issues that aren't issues that have nothing to do with the way that they actually marketed this stream to be. This was a clickbait stream, and everything that, you know, Rachel has said, Hannah has said, Emily has said, Jason and David, it doesn't even really make sense why they're fucking there because they're not saying anything. They're not adding to the conversation. Meg is hiding behind her friends, having them make up arguments that aren't issues instead of actually talking about the issue and why they are all there. Blows my mind. All right. Let's get back to this.
And I think a lot of us, either here in the chat right now or on the chat that I'm watching, a lot of us are so, and I'm going to put myself in this, we are so ensconced in this weird little Star Wars bubble that when I have casual conversations with friends outside of it, they're like, yeah, I just thought it was cool. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what the
Oh my God, I've been muted this whole time? Oh no. Oh no. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, thank you guys for Oh my gosh. Okay, so what did you guys hear? What did you guys actually hear? Oh my God. I had a boomer moment. I'm really tired. I'm really, really tired. Only the last couple of minutes. All right. Well, so basically what I said was that this stream was mislabeled because the way that it's Meg not being held accountable for her actions because the fact that, you know, Emily, Rachel, and Hannah are fighting Meg's battle for her. I don't know why Jason is there. David, the only people that really should be on the stream is David and Meg because they're the ones that interacted with me on Twitter. But they're all talking and they're doing it for an hour and 30 minutes over something. And they're making up arguments that have nothing to do with the actual situation. And the way that they marketed this was she wants to fight, a discussion on misogyny in the fandom. Okay. Well, first off, I'm just like, I'm a woman, so what on earth are you talking about? But they're not talking about the issue and they're tiptoeing around it. And what I think is because here's the thing with hypocrites and liars. Okay, so she called to deplatform me, right? Because she didn't like that I caught her lying about this, right? And so then she called me hateful and, you know, a dangerous person. And then she called to deplatform me, right? Okay. So I guarantee you the reason why they're tiptoeing around this and they're talking about issues. Well, first off, the issues that they're talking about, they're owning themselves because they're not actual issues. And they would actually, if they actually did a bit of research, they would find what they're saying is stuff I've actually already said, a majority of it, right? And so they advertise this stream as, oh, we're going to talk about this situation. But why they're not doing it, what I think, is because they're afraid I'm going to flag them and I'm going to report them, which that with YouTube ethics is not something you do. If somebody is stealing your content, that's a different story. If somebody is doxing you live, that's a different story. But just sitting around and talking, no YouTuber, no respectable YouTuber is going to report you for that, which obviously they're not above flagging things, you know, they're not above it. So that's why they're tiptoeing around the subject, is because they would do it. They've probably reported every stream I've done, every video I've done that has to do with this. I guarantee you, because we know that's what they do, right? They post it publicly on Twitter. But none of her friends are holding her accountable for the things that she has done. But they're making these straw man arguments against me that they don't actually realize they actually agree with me. And what they're saying contradicts with what Meg did. And so Meg is hiding behind her friends and letting her friends fight all battles for her instead of actually talking about the actual issue that they advertised the stream was going to be about. Here we go. All right.
The majority of the world population thinks I need to take a step back. And I think that's the interesting bit about this is like, this is...
Oh, shit. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, yeah, it's 2. Shit. Okay. I think I can stay on. I'll go until 2:10. Okay, so we got 9 minutes left. So I'll read my super chats, and I guess I'm gonna have to do another stream tonight where I talk about this, or I don't know. I might have to wait until I get back, honestly. Vids the Ranter, thank you for super chat. Why can't you move to Gab instead of Twitter? I'm not gonna use that. The guy that owns Gab is a freaking weirdo. But thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Carrie Malone, thank you for the super chat. I assumed you were swearing up a storm while muted. Winky face, love your channel. Well, thank you. Also, everyone, thank you so much for the super chats. I really appreciate it. Yori Fiendruk, thank you for the super chat. And it's a super sticker that says 1 up. Thank you. Dr. Coffin-Nails, thank you for the super chat. Let's not let Snyder's a-hole issues divide us. Also, Anna said nothing wrong. Thank you, Dr. Coffin-Nails. I don't think I said anything wrong either last night on the Jack Show. Again, there's a time and a place for things. And if you think that if you think me criticizing, or excuse me, if you think that the Fandom Menace is an echo chamber, I mean, you've never seen me and Jeremy on a live stream together, because me and Jeremy don't agree on almost anything. And we always get into screaming matches. And again, there's a reason why I'm not on the Geeks and Gamers team. It's because I don't agree with a lot of the ways that Jeremy runs things. And he knows that, you know? I think what happened with the Uche situation and with Zack Snyder coming on the stream, I think that's unacceptable behavior. And you know, if you watch my video that I did on it, that was me without having all of the information. That was initially what I saw from the situation. I mean, knowing these people and knowing that they are not a hate group. Just because I don't agree with them doesn't mean that they are a hate group, right? They've done wonderful things for me in the past, right? But last night on the live stream that I had been trying to end for hours was not the time and the place to start up a debate on whether or not Jeremy is a good guy or not. It's not. And that's why I snapped, because I'd been streaming for, at that point, almost 10 hours. I wanted to go to sleep because it was past my bedtime, and the conversation was derailing and nobody was listening to me, even though it was on my channel, right? And I got pissed because I get really grumpy when I'm angry. So I don't think I did anything wrong, but people want to say that the Fandom Menace is an echo chamber when it's clearly not. It's irritating. But thank you, Dr. Coffin Nails. I do appreciate that. Joe, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Anna. Could you post? Okay, I think I read that one. I read that one. Jedi Shredder, thank you for super chat. Do you run live streams from your artwork channel? Yes, I do. Turn my daughter on to your work, as she's an artist herself. I'm sure she'd like some insight and the opportunity to present itself. Thanks. Yeah, I do live streams over on my art channel. Thank you for asking. I've done streams where I've signed prints, but I think once that channel gets bigger, I'll start doing, I don't know, where I paint. Like, so I have these on hand. So this I did a few years ago. It was just me experimenting with metallic paint. So I decided to do like little David Bowie studies, right? And so I'm going to do art streams over there. And I think I might get my friend Sav, who's also an artist, to come on and, you know, just show if anyone in the chat like wants to learn how to draw something or how to paint something. I'm planning on doing streams like that. It's just time is my enemy right now, and I need to get more organized. And at the same time, I am drawing a comic book right now, and so it's like trying to manage and time management on where my priorities are. And right now I would like to get that going again, but right now my main priority is getting my comic book done, because it's a story that I've had inside me for 8 years, and I want to share it with all of you guys, and I want to potentially share it with the world. So that's where my priority is. I actually have that more of a priority than this YouTube channel, believe it or not. But and that's why I've only been doing live streams, and well, I haven't had time to do anything aside from live streams, really. With the live streaming, I haven't even had time to draw. But anyways, thank you for the super chat. I will be doing that. And over there, you can ask me any art question, and I'll try my best to answer it. Charlie's Prayer, thank you for the super chat. They're not friends. They're allies against the patriarchy. Big difference. True. Diano, thank you for the super chat. Anna and everyone, have a good weekend. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. A happy black man, thank you for the super chat. Can someone let Meg know that I'm single and ready to mingle? She could use a little bit of love. Thank you for the super chat. CJ, thank you for the super chat. How stupid is Warner Brothers for not continuing the Snyderverse? I know you have your differences with Snyder, but his vision of Justice League was universally loved. Was it? I've heard the exact opposite, but thank you for the super chat. TJ, thank you for the super chat. I love seeing Wonder Woman in theaters. Great movie. And yes, I'm a guy and went with my best friend. And yes, I am straight. Well, see, that's the thing. Just because Wonder Woman is a woman doesn't mean men aren't allowed to love her. Again, men like to look at women just like women like to look at men. And even if it's not a sexual thing or an aesthetic thing, men are able to like female characters, right? Blows my mind that people don't understand that. Runs with Phantoms, thank you for the super chat. I'm a straight man. When Wonder Woman crossed no man's land, I was shook. Why? Because it took incredible, in all caps, courage. Those machine guns mowed down many. I know that was a huge moment. That's a universally loved scene as far as I'm aware. Sean E. Reed too. Thank you for the super chat. What was your very first pic you finished? A picture? You mean like a drawing or a painting? I don't know. I mean, I was a child. I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Runs with Phantoms, thank you for the super chat. Sorry for the late super chat about an old topic. Payment confirmed was glitchy. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I still appreciate it, though. I just would like to avoid that topic now because it's a headache. And at the end of the day, guess what? It's not my problem. I wasn't there. I'm not a part of that team. I have no love for the Snyderverse. And I speculated and gave me my opinion on what I think should have happened and how it should have been handled. But at the end of the day, that's just me giving my opinion. It's not my problem because I'm not part of a team and I wasn't involved in it. Okay. Force Ghost Fabio, thank you for super chat. Momoa playing Lobo was such a wasted opportunity. Thank you for the super chat. Thunderstorm, thank you for the super chat. The film Flash is too cringe for me to watch. I don't want to watch that because I don't like Ezra Miller. Oh, I have 1 minute left. Runs with Phantoms, thank you for the super chat. Wait, so Aquacall looked so awesome because he was designed for the female gaze? Huh, I just thought he looked badass. Vinsted, thank you for the super chat. Darth Bane! Runs with Phantoms, thank you for 2 super chats in a row. Thank you for the super chat. Kylo would be squealing right now. That Star Wars girl just confused Vader with him when discussing separating baby Luke and Leia. I don't remember. And then the second one, people can only identify with people like them. This is the road back to segregation. These SJWs are so misled. I agree. Russman, thank you for the super chat. I love you, that Star Wars girl, but I can't watch these people. They are inseparable members of the professional victim generation. Have a good trip. Yeah, but you see, that's one of the things is I think that they're my age. Like Rachel was talking about how she was in college when The Force Awakens came out, and I'm like, so was I. And so I think these people are the same age as me. Well, at least Jason says, yeah, he's older than all of them. But I think me and Rachel are at least the same age. So take with that what you will. David Nell, thank you for any way to pre-order your comic? Yes. I'm going to be putting it on Indiegogo, which is pre-orders, once I get certain things done. I still need to get a cover done and stuff like that. But I'm going to be launching a pre-launch page once my next video comes out. So there'll be a way to sign up early. That way you get access to a secret tier. That will be a big, whatchamacallit? A big discount for some people. So, and it'll have like an extra thing in there that won't be available in any of the other tiers. So that will be available once the pre-launch page for signups for it come out. Thunderstorm, thank you for that. I like The Force Awakens. Its sequels to it are an abomination of creation, in my opinion. Mason W, thank you for that. These seem like the type of fans to ask, wait, who is Mara Jade? Yeah, I know. Thunderstorm, thank you for that. They only mean their female voice. Other females are forbidden and toxic. Yep. They actually say that, and you can catch that in part 1 of this, me EFAPing this video. Jake Dunnigan, thank you for super chat. Spot on using strawman arguments because the real proof doesn't exist. Exactly. And guys, I have to go. I have an appointment, and I have to go to that. And guys, it's not a doctor's appointment. I'm completely fine. It's a lady beauty appointment. I'm getting my eyelashes done. As silly as you guys might think that is, when I was younger, half of my eyelashes came off on one eye and they don't grow back the same. So I have a lady put eyelash extensions on my eyes, which you might think is silly, but trust me, it makes a difference. It does make a difference. So I have to go drive over to her house so she can do that to me. And you guys can all laugh at me for it. But guess what? Love my eyelashes the way that they are. And it cuts so much back on my makeup routines because then it's like I don't even have to put on eye makeup. It's nice. But yeah, so I'm going to go get my eyelashes done, which I lay there for like, an hour, and a lady puts eyelashes on. And so it doesn't look like I have a bald spot of eyelashes right here because they don't grow anymore. Let's see. But anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will do a follow-up. You know what? Fuck it. Tonight, I will do part 3, and I will power through the rest of it, and I will catch up on all the super chats. So if I missed your super chat, I apologize. I will do part 3 tonight, and we will get through the rest of this live stream, and it'll be done. Won't have to do it again. Won't have to watch this again, and we'll do it there, and I will read all the super chats there. And this will be re-uploaded onto my secondary channel, that's Star Wars Girl Live. It is the pinned comment in the comment section. So you guys can click that and it'll take you to my live channel. Subscribe over there. The part 1 is actually right now uploading onto that channel. And you know what? Once it's done, I will just release it. So, and then I'll do this as well. But it does take, by the time I get back, this will be done rendering and processing. I'll be able to download it and re-upload it. So everyone, thank you so much for being here. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon. I will see you later for part 3. And until next time, everyone, I hope you have a great rest. I think I said a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, and wherever you're in the world. And may the force be with you because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know if you didn't know already that I have an Etsy where I sell prints of my artwork. I got horror villains, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars characters. The latest Star Wars character that I just added was the only